What do a fallen tree, $100 million investment, and a 4-H horse show all have in common? At first glance, not much. But this week, they all tell the same story. It's a story about what communities choose to invest in, what we preserve, what we neglect, and what still manages to grow anyway. I'm Jen McMillin, and this is Sunshine Strategies Radio, your weekly look at the stories shaping Macon, Piatt, DeWitt, Logan, McLean, and Christian counties. Let's get started. Friends, I am in a cloudy place today, both literally and figuratively. It's getting ready to storm again here in Macon County. Again. And we still haven't even finished up cleaning from last week's storm. The downed branches, debris, the mess that no one's coming to fix for us. We do it ourselves the way we always do. But the storm got me before I was ready. And the most devastating thing that it took, the thing that I keep coming back to, was a linden tree out at Lincoln Trail Homestead State Park. One that I even told you guys about earlier this year. One I'd stood next to and thought about what it had seen. Gone. Now, I need to tell you a little bit about Lincoln Trail Homestead, because if you've not been, you really should go after it's cleaned up. It's about 10 miles west of Decatur, right on the Sangamon River, tucked into Macon County like a secret the rest of the county forgot to notice. This is where Abraham Lincoln, 21 years old, just fresh from Indiana, helped his father Thomas build a log cabin in the spring of 1830. This is the place where the family planted corn directly into the prairie sod and watched it struggle. This is where they survived the winter of the deep snow, 6 feet of it, sub-zero temperatures, and Abraham riding into a neighboring farm justified food for his family. This is where a young man who would one day hold a country together first learned what it meant to endure. The cabin is long gone. There is a marker. There are trails, and the Sangamon River runs quiet alongside it. Not so quiet these days, it's pretty full. And admission is free. I've been thinking a lot about witness trees, the old ones that stand at the edges of history and just hold it. They don't editorialize, they don't fundraise, they just stand there, roots down, and remember. That linden at Lincoln Trail Homestead was one of those trees. It had been standing along the Sangamon River while the rest of the world moved on and forgot this place existed. And last week, in a storm that no one will write about, it fell. That same day, June 19th, an $850 million presidential center opened in Chicago. And I want to be careful here. There is a lot to love about Barack Obama. His story, his family, his intellect, what his election meant to millions of people. I felt it too. I remember where I was. Hell, I even applied to work in his Senate office. But I'm from downstate Illinois, and I cannot separate his legacy from what has happened to places like this, to Macon County, to the 6 counties that I cover each week on this show, and the decades of bipartisan neglect that his presidency both inherited and, I would argue, failed to disrupt. The Obama Presidential Center cost $850 million and was funded by some of the wealthiest people on earth. Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, Brian Chesky, Penny Pritzker, Sean Parker. It stands apart from the National Archives, apart from the park systems even, privately controlled by a foundation whose CEO was paid $755,000 last year. It cost $30 to walk through the door. It sits on land in the city of Chicago that was leased to the Obama Foundation for just $10 over 99 years. And the state of Illinois spent over $120 million in public funds on the roads and infrastructure around it. Neighborhoods nearby held their breath about gentrification, about being priced out of the very community a racial justice museum was built to honor. Now, I'm not saying that the center shouldn't exist. I'm saying look at what gets a monument and look at what doesn't. A linden tree fell on the Sangamon River at a place where Abraham Lincoln first learned to survive in Illinois. And there was no press release, no donor wall, no plaza named after a billionaire. Here's what I keep coming back to: the same people who built that center, the donor class, the bundlers, the Chicago machine, these are not the people who lie awake at night worrying about Harristown, Illinois. They are not building anything in Logan County. They are not preserving what's been lost in Christian or DeWitt, Piatt, or McLean. They funded a monument to change while protecting the system that makes change impossible. And the Republican Party isn't coming to save us either. Let's be clear. The neglect we're living with started in earnest with President Ronald Reagan. The gutting of rural investment, the consolidation, the policy choices that hollowed out small towns across the Midwest. Neither party reversed it. Neither party tried very hard. Both parties are broken, friends. And that's not a hot take anymore. That's just Tuesday. The Obamas and the Bushes were together in Chicago in a moment of bipartisan civility that the cameras love. And I thought, what does that civility mean to a town that lost its hospital, its downtown, all of its young people? Their handshakes don't fill a vacant storefront. Their unity doesn't fix a country road. So what can we do? We do what Central Illinois has always done. We endure. We show up and we get ornery. Stay engaged at the local level. I mean it. From your city council, your county board, school board, park district. Those are the places where decisions get made about the things you can actually touch. Attend the meetings, know the names, and make them yours. Stay informed at the national level, but don't let Washington consume you. Know what's happening and understand the forces at play. And then come back home, because that's where the actual work is. And here's the harder thing I want to say. Let's start imagining political structures that actually serve you. Both parties have had decades to fix this, and they haven't. That's not an accident, it's a choice made by people who benefit from the status quo. We're not obligated to keep choosing between them. We're allowed to demand something better. We are allowed to build it. And that's the most American thing I can think of. Honoring Americans showing up anyway, building the thing that needs to exist. All right, moving into the news of the week, let's start in DeWitt County because there is a lot happening this week. Beginning with an important conversation about local schools. Teachers packed the Clinton School Board meeting this week to voice concerns about administrative leadership, staff support, and compensation. The Clinton Education Association says many educators feel unheard, and union leaders shared the results of a recent school climate survey that was completed by most of the district's professional staff. The survey has been given to the school administrators and board members, with teachers hoping that it leads to meaningful improvement. Board members also debated a proposed pay increase for an administrator before removing the item from the agenda without a vote. This is a reminder that strong schools depend not only on great teachers, but on trust and communication. On a brighter note, this weekend is one of DeWitt County's favorite summer traditions, the 4-H horse show at the DeWitt County Fairgrounds. Young riders will showcase the skills they've spent the past year developing with their horses, while families from DeWitt, Macon, and Piatt counties gather to celebrate hard work and sportsmanship. Organizers are also inviting the public back on July 9th through the 12th to the General Project Show, where nearly 500 local 4-H members will display more than 1,500 projects, ranging from science and agriculture to arts and crafts. It's a wonderful reminder of the opportunities 4-H provides for young people to build confidence, learn new skills, and give back to their communities. Now, moving on to Logan County, they have a brand new nonprofit, the Rail Splitter, Community Foundation, who is officially launched with an extraordinary $1 million legacy gift from the estate of Judith Morley. The foundation's mission is to invest in Logan County through scholarships, grants, community improvement projects, and partnerships with local nonprofits. Leaders say that the goal is to help donors create lasting investments that strengthen the community for generations to come. It is my favorite kind of hometown philanthropy, and it makes a big difference over time, supporting local ideas with local dollars. And if you're traveling around Logan County next week, be prepared for a detour. Beginning on Monday, the bridge over Sugar Creek on Old Route 121, southeast of Hartsburg, will close for major reconstruction. The Illinois Department of Transportation expects the project to continue through mid August. So, all that traffic is going to be rerouted using Illinois 121, Interstate 55, Interstate 155, and County Road 2300. If your summer plans take you through that area, allow a little extra travel time. Here in Macon County, there was some big economic news. Governor J.B. Pritzker joined leaders from ADM to announce a $103 million investment to modernize the company's Decatur operations. The project will upgrade soybean processing facilities, improve the corn wet mill with new technology, create 50 new full time jobs, and help retain more than 1,000 existing positions. While ribbon cuttings for new businesses often grab the headlines, investments like this are just as important. These help keep major employers competitive, protect local jobs, and strengthen the regional economy for years to come. And if you're looking for a family fun activity, the Rock Springs Conservation Area is inviting the community to celebrate Independence Day the way Illinois families might have in 1860. Visitors can tour the historic Homestead Prairie Farm, explore their heirloom garden, and enjoy some old fashioned toys and games. Over in McLean County, they continue to prove that the arts are more than entertainment. They're also an important part of the local economy. A new statewide report found that Illinois' creative economy generates billions of dollars in economic activity each year, supporting thousands of jobs in fields ranging from and music to theater and music to design, film, and visual arts. For communities like Bloomington Normal, organizations such as the Illinois Shakespeare Festival, local museums, and performing art venues don't just enrich our lives, they also attract visitors, support local businesses, and create jobs. And speaking of that, one of the stars of this year's Illinois Shakespeare Festival has four legs instead of two. Scout, an Australian Shepherd Border Collie mix from Lexington, is making her theatrical debut as Crab the dog in The Two Gentlemen of Verona. Working alongside actor Jermaine Jenkins, Scout's performance has quickly become a favorite with all the audiences, reminding everyone that live theater has room for a little bit of unpredictability. And sometimes the biggest applause goes to the canine cast member. The festival continues through July 11th at the Ewing Cultural Center in Bloomington, offering families a chance to enjoy classic theater under the stars. And we can't forget about Christian County. They continue to look toward the future as discussions move forward on a proposed technology campus that could be one of the largest economic development projects in the region. Christian County Economic Development Corporation says Eagle Rock Partners is exploring plans for Meridian Technology Park, a proposed data center campus near Clarksdale between Taylorville and Palmer. Supporters say the project could create around 1,000 construction jobs and approximately 500 permanent positions if approved. County officials emphasize that the proposal is still in the review process and must receive approval from both the Christian County Zoning Board and the County Board before any construction can begin. Another data center project to keep your eye on. And if your weekend plans include Lake Taylorville, you'll want to be making a change. The Illinois Department of Public Health has temporarily closed the beach after water samples showed elevated levels of E. coli from the heavy rains. Health officials say these spikes are not uncommon after significant rainfall, and the beach will reopen only after 2 consecutive tests show that bacteria levels have returned to safe limits. Boating and other activities may continue where permitted, but swimming is off limits until the advisory is lifted. And over in Piatt County leaders are working to build momentum in the future with the creation of a new community driven initiative on economic development. The recently formed Monticello Community Foundation hopes to bring together residents, business leaders, and local organizations to support projects that strengthen the area's economy and quality of life. Organizers say their goal is to help attract investment, encourage new opportunities, and showcase what makes Piatt County a great place to live, work, and visit. This is another reminder that economic development isn't just about recruiting businesses, it's also about investing in the community. And this weekend offers a chance to celebrate Piatt County's rich history with a new historical marker dedicated on Sunday. This one will recognize an important local landmark and the people who shaped the community's past. Events like these may seem small, but they help preserve the stories that connect generations and remind us that local history is worth protecting. So, wrapping up for this week, one of my favorite trees at Lincoln Homestead fell, but I was there and I saw it. I wrote about it before the storm came, and I'm writing about it now after. That's what witness trees do. The living ones, I mean, the ones still standing, like us. We stay rooted and we hold the memories, and we don't let the storms have the last word. I'm Jen McMillin, and thank you again for listening to Sunshine Strategies Radio, covering Macon, Piatt, DeWitt, Logan, McLean, and Christian counties, and the people who live here and refuse to give up on this place. Stay engaged, friends, and I'll see you next week.